Here's the other big curveball from Daniel Jeremiah. Hendon Hooker, first round pick, number 23 to the Minnesota Vikings. Everyone's talking about 4 first round quarterbacks. Hooker goes 23 to the Vikings in Daniel Jeremiah's mock. He'd be the 5th first round quarterback. And as we said way earlier on the show, hours ago, Chris Sims has Hendon Hooker as his 3rd quarterback in his rankings.
I mean, that's wild to me, the Sims thing. Him going 4 picks below Will Levis is also wild to me. I mean, Hendon Hooker in the first round to me is, I hesitate to use the term crazy, but I can't see a tremendously good justification for that. I understand his numbers are good and his production is fantastic, but we've talked before about how hard that offense is at Tennessee to project to the NFL. And that's before you get to the idea that he's coming off an ACL and he's old. You know, there's a lot of question marks around his game. And you have to set all of that aside and essentially just look at pure traits. Like literally, you're projecting an abstract going, the guy is 6'3", 217 pounds, whatever. He's got the size, the speed. He's got all the tools, right? The tools we talk about with Anthony Richardson, blah, blah, blah. He's got all the tools. He's more accurate because we can see him throwing to a wide the hell open guy who is uncovered because the corners have fallen over or whatever. So you can see he's pretty accurate, but it's just a massive projection, which is fine, but
the justification for it is he's a quarterback. Yeah. And at 23, you're going to get a starting defensive tackle, a guy that can compete at corner. It's throwing that against the alternative. And you've got one more year of Kirk Cousins. I'm not saying it has nothing to do with the Hendon Hooker evaluation. It's just like I said, Jalen Hurts is a process pick, 2nd round. Why not? Hendon Hooker's also 25 coming off an ACL. There's the things that are working against him. The 25-year-old thing, I don't think that has anything to do with, he can't get any better. He's not going to progress. I think it has more to do with you're evaluating a man playing in the SEC, a 25-year-old man, 24-year-old man playing in the SEC. You're saying he was really good. True. But take a 24-year-old and drop him in the SEC. What are the expectations there? To me, that's the bigger issue with age, is that you're taking his stats, his production, and if you're not adjusting for the fact that he's that age, right? It's Matthew Stafford's age, right? Isn't Matthew Stafford just turned in 24? That's part of the evaluation as well. Not the fact that, he'll be 30 at the end of his first contract. It doesn't matter.
I think it's also how much better is he likely to get?
There's a little bit of that, but as much, you're saying he played at level X, you have to add the variable Y. He was 25 years old doing it.
He'll also be, 26 by the time he sees the field.
Was he 25 for last season or 25 for the
He's 25 right now, basically.
Yeah.
That's
just part of the evaluation.
But look,
the story here to me, Sam, is that you have Greg Doyle talking about the Colts trading down in the first round and drafting Hendon Hooker. You have Daniel Jeremiah putting Hendon Hooker at 23 to the Vikings, and you have a guy like Chris Sims ranking him in his top 3 quarterbacks. There's enough smoke around Hendon Hooker right now that we might hear his name called night 1.
He's older now than Jalen Hurts is, and he'll be another year down the line before he sees the field at all because he's ACL, the Vikings have Cousins, etc.
There's some risk associated there.
To me, it's not.
I don't argue with drafting quarterbacks usually, but
no, to me, it's not about the age thing. And I get what you say is fine, which is, look, if you need a quarterback, and they don't have an acute need, but they're going to need a replacement at some point. So if you think you draft a quarterback, okay, take the guy in the first round. It's more projecting Hendon Hooker into the first round based off the evidence we have on him. And look, if you restrict yourself to his numbers, they're obviously amazing, right? The dude's got, 58 touchdowns to 5 interceptions in the last 2 years in that Tennessee offense, which is a passer rating of 130. It's insane. But when you put on the tape and watch that offense function, I mean, the offense is destroying defenses, not so much Hendon Hooker, who is sort of standing there and hitting an open guy who is like and it's the same conversation you have with Jalen Hyatt, which is how do you project that? Because that guy's in stack formations the whole time. Like, the defense has no idea how to deal with it. There's a play, I forget who it was against, but a corner can't read where he's coming from, and he's running downfield and the corner is literally like spinning around going, what the hell? Like I just lost track of what's going on. And all Hooker has to do is like drop back, yoink, touchdown. Like it's cheating. It's the cheat code. It's not that the offense, like Tennessee people hate it that we call that this offense. For college, it's amazing. Like
it's a good college offense.
It's
good for college.
It's destroying everybody that it goes up against. My problem with it is that makes it very difficult to isolate a player from within it, put him mentally into an NFL offense and say, how does that affect his play? And that, I think, is such a huge question mark for Hooker. I find it very difficult to see him as a first-round pick.
Yeah, there's a lot of Hendon Hooker fans out there. And look, we've been burned by those types of evaluations as well. Guys that grade well in that type of system,
yes,
or receivers that have crazy production and do, like the Corey Colemans of the world, who do amazing things, even as far as getting open as route runners. But they didn't have the full nuance of the route tree. I mean, there's some risk. It's all about risk. And there's some in there.